Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 in Pydantic. And in this session, we're going to be taking a look at class validators. In the previous video, we did individual field validators. So just to recap, these are mechanisms where basically you can say, whenever, say for example, this model is initialized, go ahead and do this check on perhaps this field or this field. The difference with a class validator or a model validator is it effectively can check multiple fields at the same time. So what we're going to do is do a quick, why would you do this? And then go through 3 individual examples. The why is probably the trickiest one to kind of say, really, because it's very context dependent. And the reason why I've done 3 examples is to try and kind of explain this as best I can. But why you would do this is generally when you have some kind of model with more than one field, and you generally use it where you need some kind of rule in place where you might say something like, if one field is this, then these other fields have to be X, Y, Z. So with that said, let's kind of take this under our wing and do the first example. And actually, I'll try and relate it to this as well. So suppose you had a user, and this user needs to enter their password and then confirm the password. This would be a great example to kind of cover the why. Well, you'd want this to be the same as this. So with a field validator, you could check the password to meet certain constraints, but then a model validator could basically say, does this match this? So that's why you might use some kind of model validator as opposed to a field validator, or you could use them both at the same time. So what I've done, I've got model validator already imported up here, and let's go ahead and build this first one up. So I'm going to use my decorator and say this is a model validator. And one of the things you have to pass in is mode here. Now I'm going to say mode equals after. What this basically does, this waits for effectively this validation to happen. So imagine you pass in a password that's maybe, it's not a string, it's something else. Pydantic is not going to be happy with that. This will wait until that validation is done, has taken place, we have a model, then this will come along and happen. So let's go ahead and then decorate a function. So let's call this, let's call it password check. Actually, this has to take self. Make sure you put this here. And let's just go ahead and do, not like that. Sorry, it's been a long day. So I'll try and type this as nice as I can. So let's go ahead and just do return self. Make sure I've got nothing else running. I haven't. So let's go ahead and just run this. There we go, looks good. And underneath here, we'll just go ahead and print off our user. So at the moment, we've got password ABC, confirm password as ABC. So that should be absolutely fine. Yeah, password ABC, confirm password ABC. Now the way this works here is self has to go in at the top, or some derivative of self, but generally we use self. And then at the very end, this has to also return self. So say if you, didn't do this and try and run this again, Pydantic won't be happy. Basically, it's saying yeah, this needs to return self. So make sure you do this here. There we go, put this back in place. And then what we can also do, to give you a bit of kind of insight as to how this works, run vars of self, sorry, not return, print. There we go. So vars effectively calls the dict attribute. Basically gives you a dictionary of attributes. So you have keys being password, confirm password, and values being ABC, ABC. That'll probably give you a bit of insight as to how this check's going to work. And yeah, there we go, like this. So the way to make this work is as follows. Let's go ahead and then do self. Then let's do a little dot here. Let's do self dot password. There we go. In fact, we'll do not equals self dot confirm password. So we'll basically say if the passwords don't match, let's come down here, and just for now, let's go ahead and just print oh no, like this. Okay, looks good. Didn't see any oh no's, that's fine. Now let's go ahead and change. Let's go ahead and do ABCD for the confirm password. And then we see oh no here. So basically, the password we've used is not the same as the confirm password we've used. So let's go ahead and clean this up. The last thing we need to do is get rid of this print. And generally, we like to raise value errors. So if we do raise a value error, and let's say passwords don't match. So something like that would be okay. I was going to do an F string and put the password in here, but it's probably not great to show that on the screen, is it? And there's our error. Value error, passwords don't match. But of course, if we change this, just do ABC and ABC, then we should be good. There we go, nice. So that's our first example there. So just to recap, we have to use a model validator. Generally, we're going to be using mode equals after. That just means that it'll effectively wait for this to happen. So maybe if you did, I don't know, something like password equals 1, it's not even going to make it to the model validator this time. It will give you this here. So this is basically happened because we've inherited from base model, and because we've said password string, confirm password string, and we've done password as integer, basically this validation's happened first and failed, so it's not even got to this. So just something to bear in mind, generally you want all your fields to be set up so you can then do the model validator and yeah, make it do its stuff. So let's go ahead and change this back, clear that, and run again, and it's all happy. And this bit here, of course, make sure you do self here, return self at the bottom. Whatever check you want to do, go ahead and do it just by doing self dot and then your attribute or field name. And then generally we're going to be raising a value error with some kind of message. So hopefully that covers the why. We're using these kind of checks so we can check multiple fields, whereas your field validator is going to be checking a single field. So with that done, let's go on to our shipping an item example. So what I've got here, similar sort of setup, but a bit more complex. Imagine this represents an item that needs shipping. It has a name, it has this Boolean attribute called need shipping, which is going to be true or false. So imagine this is like, I don't know, they could pick it up from the warehouse or whatever, so it might not need shipping. We also have an optional shipping address. So let's say in this case we have a toy, this needs to be shipped, and we have shipping address as 1 Main Street. The why in this case, I always want to kind of go back to this here. Why use a model validator for this? Well, if something needs to be shipped, surely it needs a shipping address. So this would be a good use case for it. If someone said, yeah, it needs shipped, but don't provide this, then we want this model to fail. We don't want it to be evoked properly. So let's go ahead and do, in fact, what we're going to do is take this, be naughty and try and save some time. And we'll put this in here. We'll get rid of these two, just do return self. And let's just call this item check like this. Just to show this one more time, let's go ahead and do print the vars of self. So this time I want to see a dictionary with this, this, and this. Let's hit run. It is, yeah. So we have name, need shipping, and shipping address. So the way we're going to do this, we'll do if self.needs shipping. So basically saying, if this is true, then what we then need to do is basically then say, okay, you know, does this have a quantity or does it have a value? So we'll say, if this is true, and let's do not shipping address, self.shipping address. There we go, like this. We'll try a few variants of this. And then inside here, we're going to be raising the value error just like earlier. And then we'll say, shipping address is not provided. Okay, that should be good. Get rid of our vars. Bring this all up. Let's go ahead and try it. Okay, looks good. Now let's try it as false. So I'll try and check all the cases here. Okay, looks good. Now let's try no shipping address, but with need shipping as false. So I'd expect this to be okay. Yeah, it is. But what if need shipping is true, but shipping address is empty? And there we go. Value error, shipping address not provided. So one more time, we're basically saying this field and this field, they're the ones that are going to be interrogated. So first of all, does it need to be shipped? So is this true? So if it does need shipped, but they haven't provided a shipping address, don't initialize the model, go and raise a value error and say shipping address not provided. If you did want to somehow provide like the values in here, you could do some kind of F string like this, but you know, with it being empty, yeah, probably not much use in this case. There we go. Actually, you could. Let's go ahead and do shipping address not provided for, and then let's do self.name in here. At least try and get something in there, will we? Where is it? There we go. Shipping address not provided for toy. Cool, there we go. And let's go ahead and try the last one. So this last one I've tried to make a bit more complex. So suppose we have this class to represent a file that's being uploaded, could be an item. And what I've also got is a separate class here called file. So let me just show you what this looks like. Suppose we have an item being uploaded, and this can either be a string or it could be a file. So someone could just be uploading some raw text into a field. You know, you've seen those like boxes on like a website where you can upload a file or you can just copy in some text. So it could be a string or it could be a file. The reason why I've made this file here is so I can use it as a type. So if you were to do something like, let's go ahead and do, say, hello, like this. And then we are not going to pass a path for that one. So, because we're just passing in some raw text, it doesn't have a path, it's fine. It can just be the text in the box. And then we'll go ahead and print X here. So this should be good. Okay, yeah, hello path is none, that's absolutely fine. Now let's get rid of this one, and let's go ahead and do this here. With the X at the start, that would probably help. So this time we have an instance of file, which is just a blank instance. The path we've provided as just my path. This could represent some path on your system. Okay, looks good. Now the issue here is going to be, what if someone gives a file, but for some reason this doesn't register a file path? That's where we're going to be causing an error. So again, let's go ahead, take our validator, and let's put this down here like that. And let's call this path check here. So let's do, there we go, that looks good. Right, we'll get rid of just this here. To be honest, I find a lot of these you can kind of sort of template. There's generally some kind of check, so something being checked. You want to say like, we want to say, is this situation happening? Does this field exist but not this field? If so, raise the error. If not, no problem at all. So what we want to do is basically say, is the type of file? So a few ways of doing this. Let's see. What I would probably do is do if is instance self.type and then do file like this here. So we're basically saying if self.type happens to be of type file, then we'll do some kind of other and here. In this case, we'll just do and path is none, but it's going to be self.path. Okay, looks good. Yeah, get rid of those dots here. Okay, looks nice. Right, let's go ahead and try our first one. So we wouldn't expect this to do the first bit here because I've done a string. This bit is going to be false. So let's try that. Yeah, looks cool. And let's go ahead and try our second one. So this one here, this is going to be of type file, but the path isn't going to be none, so it's going to be my path as a string. Okay, looks good. What if we didn't pass in path? Okay, then we get an error here. Let's go ahead and do no path provided. Okay, yeah, same thing there. Value error, no path provided. What if someone did pass in a path, but it was like empty like this? Let's hit run again, shall we? Okay, so this is another situation we might want to try and kind of come against. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. So we could do self.path is none or not self.path here. Right, a bit more complex, a bit more wordy. There we go. Value error, no path provided. But this really can be like as complex as you want. You could use something like pathlib to check it's a real path. You could check it looks like a path with a regex or something like that. But generally we're following this kind of pattern. We define a model validator. We say mode is after to say go ahead and initialize all these first. Once you're done, go ahead and do this check. If this check, in this case, if this line returns true, raise a value error and do not initialize the model. But if that's not the case, go ahead, return the model, and we are good to go. And just to finish off, I want to circle back to the why. I think over these 3 examples, we've covered that quite nicely. The why is basically when you want to check multiple fields or you have more complex situations. So for example, we want both of these fields to match. And this one here, you want to say, if this is true, check this exists. It's a bit more complex than your kind of traditional field validator, but they're really useful. I use them quite a lot of the time, especially for work. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have anything in Pydantic you want to see in particular, feel free to send us a message. Cheers guys, have a great weekend and see you all in the next video.